Hello everyone, welcome back to the second video in my Disney Investor Day thing. I thought I was going to do it all in one, but I went 15 minutes on Star Wars, so I decided to split them all up. So I had a little more time to talk about everything instead of rushing every little bit. I am still going to rush because there was a lot in this section. I'm going to be talking about the Disney live action stuff briefly. I'm talking about the Disney animated stuff, and then of course Pixar at the end. So I'm excited to talk about this one because there's a lot of interesting stuff. Timestamps down below if you guys want anything specific. And if you have any more questions, make sure you guys comment down below and subscribe to see more of these videos on the Disney Investor Day, because after this video I will be uploading the Marvel section, which there's a lot to talk about that as well. And definitely go back and check out the Star Wars section if that interests you as well. So let's just jump right into the Disney section of this. And they kicked off with Hocus Pocus 2, which I actually just watched Hocus Pocus for the first time this year. They released it back in theaters briefly, even though it's all COVID times and stuff. I was able, since I work at a theater, to watch it privately with some friends, and it was really good. It was great. I have a review for my 13 Days of Halloween series, and I actually really enjoyed this movie. It really held up, and there were rumblings and rumors that there's going to be a reunion for Hocus Pocus 2, and the actresses all kind of got together, and there's a photo, I believe. But now it's official. They're making a Hocus Pocus 2 for Disney Plus, and I am very excited for that because I do really enjoy the first one. I thought it captured the tone and the spirit of Halloween so well. I'm not sure exactly what year this is going to come out, maybe next year or maybe the year after that, but either way, I'm excited for Hocus Pocus 2. And I also want to talk about Cheaper by the Dozen, because those Steve Martin movies back in the early 2000s was just a staple in my household. Both of them. We watched them all the time on repeat. Same thing with Yours, Mine, and Ours, which I believe all of those movies, except for the first Cheaper by the Dozen, I believe have terrible Rotten Tomato reviews. But maybe I'll rewatch them one day and do videos for them before this new one comes out with Gabrielle Union. So it's going to be a more diverse group. Cheaper by the Dozen, of course, is two families basically merging together, which leaves two parents to deal with 12 kids, and a lot of hijinks and craziness happen within all of that. And I love those first two movies, so I'm really excited for this one because I don't know, it's just something that was from my childhood that they're bringing back, and it's such a great concept, and that's exactly what they said on stage. It's a great concept. You can have a lot of great people in this movie. Who do you guys want to see in a Cheaper by the Dozen movie? There's a lot of great child actors that they can get, a lot of great actors that they can put together with Gabrielle Union, and this can be really fun to watch, and I'm very pumped for this movie as well. And I do want to mention both Percy Jackson and Diary of a Wimpy Kid. Percy Jackson because, I briefly read those books. I wrote a paper, I believe, on the second one, I think The Sea of Monsters, and those movies never really did it justice. I think I watched the first one, or at least some of it, never really got into them, never really got into the books, but doing a series on it sounds really interesting because I do remember reading those first two books and really liking them, and what they can do now with today's technology on Disney Plus, with the stagecraft technology that they have now, you can do some really cool stuff on TV on Disney Plus. They proved that with The Mandalorian, and this is going to be another great show that they do. And the Diary of a Wimpy Kid thing is very interesting because it will be animated, so it's going to have that style from those books, and I was also a huge fan as a kid of those books, so you know what, why not bring that into the fold? And also Night at the Museum, they're going to do an animated continuation or reboot sort of thing with I believe the director of those movies come back as a producer, and Night at the Museum being animated, they said it's going to have a lot more opportunity to do some crazier things and kind of open the doors to new things, so why not? I believe that I liked all three of those movies, and not having Robin Williams is going to really hurt because he was perfect as Teddy Roosevelt. I loved him in that movie. And the second one with Amy Adams and, of course, Ben Stiller being the lead of those movies, they were all really fun to me. And Owen Wilson and that, oh god, who played the Roman guy? I don't know. I have good memories. Again, a lot of these things were just ripped straight into my childhood, and I'm loving all of this. I'm loving everything that they announced in terms of this. I really hope that they kind of revive Lizzie McGuire again, because I know they were working on a Disney Plus Lizzie McGuire remake or a new show that they're going to do with that, but they said that it was too adult themed, or I believe that's what the actress said, that they were trying to make it more adult, and Disney didn't like that for Disney Plus. But now you have that whole Star thing that they're doing with international places, but just put it on Hulu. Get a Lizzie McGuire just reboot, put it on Hulu like they're doing with iCarly, how that was a Nickelodeon show and now it's going to be on the new Paramount Plus thing. Just do it for Lizzie McGuire. Why not? I really did enjoy that movie. I never really watched the show, but a lot of people are clamoring for Lizzie McGuire, so just do it. You're making all these things from our childhoods. Why not do that one as well? I don't know. I think this is the perfect platform, whether it's Hulu or Disney Plus, to do a revival for that one as well. All right, here's one that I was not expecting at all. And forgive me if this was actually announced earlier, but they're making a sequel to Enchanted? Like, what? Amy Adams returning. It's going to be called Disenchanted. I'm very excited for this. If you guys have not seen that Enchanted movie, it's a lot of fun. I really hope the entire cast comes back and they can really have fun with that concept all these years later. It's one of those movies where it was perfect as a standalone thing, but think about how long it's been since that movie and all the things it can play with, like a 10 years later type situation. It could be a lot of fun. All right, and then Disney is making a bunch of different series for Disney Plus as well, starting with the new Baymax show, which, I love Big Hero 6. I'm not sure how interconnected this is going to be, if it's just going to be about Baymax. I mean, obviously he's a title character of this thing, so it's going to be like the new Doug show that they're going to have for Up, where it's literally just about Baymax and nobody else in the Big Hero 6 team. Is it going to be really contained to just this fluffy character, this pillow guy running around? I mean, he was a great character. He's a lot of fun to watch, but really an entire series on him, I'm not exactly sure. I'm excited about the I believe it's called San Francisco. That entire world, that entire city was really interesting, and apparently you're going to see a lot more of that. And so that aspect of it I do have some interest in, but I mean, it's called Baymax, so it's definitely going to be just based on his character, which I think that's the real thing I want to talk about in this video is, are these Disney shows, and Pixar shows especially, just going to be goofy side adventure type things where they're really inconsequential. They don't, especially for Pixar, they're not going to have that punch that you normally have for Pixar movies. Is that going to be the situation for this Baymax show? Is it just going to be really kiddie? I don't know. And you can say the same thing about the new Zootopia Plus show and the Tiana show. And the Tiana show is probably going to have a lot more chance to be something greater. I think Baymax is the one I'm most concerned about of all these Disney ones. But the Zootopia Plus, they said, is going to be about the side characters that you briefly got to see in that movie. So is that one going to be just another side goofy adventure one with the sloth an episode, and then you give the like cheetah an episode or something like that? I don't know. I'm not really excited for the Zootopia Plus because I watched that movie. I thought it was really good. And then of course you got the Moana series, which I think that is the one that I'm most excited for because I absolutely loved the Moana movie. I never really watched the original Disney movies too often. Like I watched the live action Aladdin movie before I watched the original animated, just because I want to do that, just because I never saw it. So I was like, you know what? Why not mix it up a little bit and watch this new one first, which made me actually like that live action version. But Moana and Tangled are my two favorites of all the Disney movies, excluding all Pixar. Those are my two favorites, and Moana had a lot of impact in my family because, some of my family's from Hawaii. I have a lot of family in Hawaii, and I've gone there many times, and the cultural impact that just this movie had on my family, we were all excited about it, and it was really, really great to see, and I love that movie, the music, everything about it, and I'm really pumped that they're doing a long-form musical series about this because I don't know. I think that and both Tiana have the chances of actually being something really special, really diving into these characters a lot more and exploring this world a lot more. So I'm really excited for those two in particular. And then there's the Iwájú show, which this one they didn't talk too much about, but it's going to be an original Disney series on this city in Nigeria, this futuristic sci-fi city, and the image that they showed was really cool. I'm really pumped because the people that are working behind this seem really interesting. So I don't know, I'm pumped for this show as well because, again, I'll mention this in the Pixar section. They're doing a lot of stuff that they've done before in the past. There's some that could be really goofy and silly and just, throwaway shows, but there's some that can be really interesting, bringing back characters that we've loved before. And then you have one that's extremely new and original that has probably the biggest chance of being the most special of all of them. And then you have their two movies. They really have not released a lot on Raya the Last Dragon. I'm pumped for this movie, one, because I love Kelly Marie Tran, and that first trailer that we got like a couple months ago was like, it was just a teaser, but I don't know, I'm pumped for this movie. It reminds me of Kubil and Two Strings a little bit. The new trailer kind of reminded me a little bit of Black Panther, of all the different, tribes that she's trying to bring together, and I don't know, it could be an interesting movie. It could be another throwaway type of Disney movie, or it could be like a Zootopia, or it could be like a Moana. I'm really hoping it's like a Moana type story, where it's something that I come out of just loving, absolutely loving that movie. I'm crossing my fingers. I cannot wait for March. This is going to be one of the premiere access ones, so it's probably going to be either $20 or $30 to rent on top of the Disney Plus fee. So I'm not sure how well that's going to go over with people because I don't think a lot of people did the Mulan thing, but that's another different thing because this is animated. I think more parents are going to be more inclined to put their money into that because it's an animated kids movie that they can show their kids, and if it gets great reviews, then even better for that movie. And then you have Encanto, which is going to take place about a family in Colombia, and they also didn't say too much about this one, but it sounded interesting because what Encanto means and all these different aspects of the story and the beautiful animation that they showed of just, the location and how all the magic and the enchantments that can come out of this place. And that seems interesting. Obviously, we have pretty much nothing else on this film, but I mean, it's a new Disney movie, and they're focusing more on more different stories and these more original ideas, and that is what I like what they're doing with this. Alright, and now to get to the section that I've been most excited to talk about, the Pixar section. I absolutely love Pixar. One of my best videos on the channel, the one that did, honestly, I think it's one of my most viewed videos I've ever done on the channel, was ranking every single Pixar movie from worst to best, all 22 of them, and it's still the up-to-date list because we still have not gotten Soul, which the new Soul trailer in this was amazing. I can't believe they didn't release that online. Like, my god, that intro with the band scene, that was all amazing. I'm really pumped for Soul. But Pixar had a lot of stuff that they released too for today. And so the first two shows that they announced was Doug Days and Cars. Cars is going to be about Mater and Lightning McQueen going on like a road trip across the country, seeing some old friends, meeting some new friends along the way, and just, I'm not excited about that at all. Cars 3 wasn't too bad. I didn't hate that movie. It's more like middle tier. It surprised me because I thought it was going to be complete garbage, because Cars 2 is complete garbage, but maybe they can make something out of this show. I'm not really too excited about it. Same thing with Doug Days. I think that it's just going to be one of those side things. I mean, you're focusing on the dog from Up. It's not like I mean, you had Mr. Frederick in that little scene that they showed, and it was kind of funny, but I think this is going to be more a throwaway thing, kind of like Forky Asked a Question, where that really had no impactful meaning that Pixar usually has, because especially for Pixar, I expect that sort of thing from Disney, honestly. From Disney Animated, I expect that sort of thing, because you don't get movies like Inside Out. You don't get movies like Toy Story 3. You just don't. Or even Soul. Soul looks amazing. You don't get stuff like that from Disney, and I hope that changes for Disney, but Pixar has really always been the elevated company between the two, and their animation is exquisite, and seeing these two shows kind of make me nervous for where they're going with it. But the next one is their original show idea, which they've never done before, gets me extremely excited. One thing Pixar does extremely well is taking different creators from all different backgrounds and giving them the opportunity to direct their own short films, and that's exactly what they've done with the Spark shorts. If you guys have not kept up on the Spark shorts that they have on Disney Plus, go do that. There are some awesome short films from some awesome filmmakers using different animation styles than you'd expect from Disney or Pixar, and they're all amazing. And this new show is taking some creators that worked on Toy Story 4. We're kind of having an argument on whether a meeting went either really well, one of them thought, or one went extremely terribly. And so this show is going to be about a softball team, and all episodes are going to be about a different character within this softball team who either think this game was either a huge success or a huge failure. The show is called Win or Loss, and this concept is awesome. It's a great web series idea where you're showing basically the same scenario, but from different people's perspectives. And obviously that's a storyline, that's a way of storytelling that we've definitely seen before in different films. But I mean, for Pixar to tackle that idea, having it be about a kid's softball team and about this group dynamic that's forming, is going to be really cool to see. I am pumped for this just as much as I am for the movies that they announced. And so the first movie that they announced was Turning Red, which is going to be about a girl who can basically turn into this giant red panda creature whenever she gets too excited. It's about her, a coming of age story. So it's kind of cool to see Pixar really tackling and going head on to a coming of age story where the main character, turns into a giant red panda, because why not? A more cute and adorable version of the Incredible Hulk. That's basically what they said on stage. And you know what? Sure, mainly because of the director, because they're giving that director, again, like I said, when you give these people opportunities with their short films to see what they can then go onto a feature and make something new and original. And this one is very exciting. And then I saved the absolute most interesting for last, and that is the Lightyear movie that they're releasing. And this one, I have a lot of thoughts on this one. I'm going to keep it more brief for this video, but I am pumped for this because, I mean, you take the idea of Toy Story and this Buzz Lightyear character, and, he's based off of this video game, or maybe that video game is based on a movie, and what did that movie look like? How epic, what is this blockbuster movie within this world that made that toy so popular? And that's what this movie's going to be. It's going to be about the movie that Buzz Lightyear is based off of, and they definitely had to recast good old Timothy Dick, because, oh my gosh, the stories you hear about Tim Allen are not great. I love him in the Santa Claus movies. I'll probably do a review for the Santa Claus trilogy for Christmas, but man, that guy, never hear a good story about him. But they recast him. Chris Evans is going to be voicing Buzz Lightyear in this movie called Lightyear, and I am really excited for that. The little image that they showed for it looked really cool. Very interesting concept of showing the movie within the world of Toy Story. How crazy is that we've gotten so far that Pixar is going to make the movie based on a character in a movie that is based on a movie within that universe. Did I get that right? That's kind of crazy. There's so many layers of Pixarception that they're getting into, and I am pumped for a sci-fi epic adventure, space adventure from Pixar. Like, this is going to be Pixar's Star Wars. I can't wait for this. And so that's going to be it for this Disney video of this. I, of course, have the Star Wars one that's already uploaded, and I will have the Marvel one uploaded very soon here. So subscribe to the channel to see all this coverage of the Disney Investor Day. I enjoyed talking about all these things. Everything that I cut out of this, everything that I didn't talk about, honestly was either not knowledgeable enough in it or didn't really care at all. They announced a lot of stuff between all three of those sections because obviously they said they're going to have 15 of all these things, both features and series, so that's a lot of content for Disney Plus. That is a lot. They announced over 100 things in this entire like conference thing. So definitely go check out both of my other videos and check out all these things that I talked about. I'm very excited for a lot of them. Kind of hesitant about some, but that's going to be my thoughts on the Disney section of this. Like I said, subscribe to the channel, comment down below what you guys thought of all these things, and I hope to see you all in my next video.